In this video, we're gonna build a huge life-sized custom animatronic.
And for the first time ever, we are giving it away to someone. It all started with a phone call from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They had gotten this crazy wish for an animatronic of Bon the Bunny from a horror series called the Walten Files.
If you're not familiar with Make-A-Wish, they're a huge charity that grants wishes to kids living with life-threatening medical conditions, which gives them a chance to experience something special.
And for 12-year-old Loren from Missouri, Bon is something special. When it comes to the Walten Files, he is their biggest fan.
I think the Walten Files execute horror more than Five Nights at Freddy's can. It doesn't need jump scares to scare you. It's the pure anticipation of what's to come.
The Walten Files is super creepy. Like, it's kind of this found footage, like VHS grainy style weird thing. And Bon in particular, who's the main character, doesn't seem that scary. Just a big blue bunny. But once he starts talking and doing stuff, super disturbing.
Like nightmare fuel.
So Make-A-Wish was like, hey, can you guys make this thing? Do you make these kinds of animatronics?
Yeah, we got this.
So not only are we gonna build Loren the greatest Bon animatronic ever, but he's actually gonna get to come out to our new workshop here in Texas and actually help us make it.
And as an added bonus, we are gonna be working with Martin Waltz, the creator of the Walten Files, on a super awesome surprise for Loren. Let's get started.
So the plan is to make Bon about 6 feet tall on a big steel frame. We're gonna use a wiper motor for his upper body so he can rotate. And we also want to give him completely posable arms, so we gotta figure out a way to do that. For the head, since it's the creepiest part, we want it to be able to look around and talk to you, and we'll give him some glowing red eyes for good measure. Bon's never existed in 3D before, so that's a huge challenge. Luckily, Martin, who made the Walten Files, hand drew us some pictures so we could get a better idea of his size and proportions.
So I made a bunch of measurements for the arms and the legs and all this stuff. Let's do this.
While Jay's out there working on the mech, I'm gonna work on the body parts that actually go on top of the mech. Since these pieces need to be really light, we can't 3D print them. But, you know, there's no 3D model that I could find anyway, so it's fine. I'll just make them from scratch. I'm gonna make the body parts out of EVA foam, but first to do that, I need to make a pattern. Now, Springtrap and Bon are definitely not the same, but they have a very similar size and they have this like segmented body style. So I think this is gonna be a good starting point and I'm gonna build up on it and then make a pattern from that.
Bon needs to have a big heavy base so it can hold up the weight of everything and, you know, not fall over. Which is just like when you get an animatronic at Spirit Halloween or whatever, they all have metal bases for the same reason. Right here is where the motor and the animatronic stuff is gonna go, and this needs to be really, really sturdy, but everything above this is where we have to worry about how heavy it is.
This is not gonna work. This is too big, and the parts where I'm adding are not sturdy enough to make a shape out of, but I do have another plan, so we're gonna try that next. It's time for plan B. So I have a bunch of this polyethylene foam left over from the puppet project, and what I'm gonna do is cut it all up into roughly the shape of the body part I want. I will use my reference, which I printed out at full size, and then carve it into the actual body shape that I want. So it makes a little bit of a mess, but that was way easier. So now I just have to make a whole lot more body parts.
It's been a couple days and I've finally figured out how I want to do this animatronic. So you've seen us do torso animations a couple times. On Huggy Wuggy, we did like a leaning mech. And on our pirate animatronic, we did a swivel mech, which kind of rotates at the waist. On this one, we're gonna do a rotation mech. So this is a wiper motor, and it's actually the same thing that goes in your car to make your windshield wipers move. And it's super good for props because it's really strong, so it's good for moving big stuff like this. Normally we don't worry about it as much, but since I'm giving this to somebody else to use at their house, like I'm real worried that it's gonna, you know, work for a long time. So I went a little fancier than normal. Look at this mess. Have you just been working on the floor?
Yes.
Are you almost done carving these things?
Almost. I've got the legs all done, I've got the arms all done, so these are gonna be feet. Oh, and his torso, gotta do that.
Okay, this is gonna be the spine and the whole upper body is gonna sit. And basically this is gonna go through these bearings and it's gonna rotate. And what I'm gonna try now is to actually put a slight bend in this so that it's kind of like leaning forward. How's that?
That looks good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So now when this rotates, that should, yeah, look at that. Okay, test number 1, here we go. Yes, 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 it's working. I'm so happy with it. I looked online for a bunch of designs and tried to come up with my own version of that. And all these parts are like adjustable and we can swap them out if we need to. I'm very happy with this. We're about to chat with Loren for the first time. This is exciting. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey,
Good to talk to you.
I'm Loren, and then this is my mom. Hi.
Mom.
And then this is my dad.
As such a big fan of FNaF, what made you want to pick the Walten Files?
I found it on YouTube, I want to say like 3 years ago, because it was when the first one came out. And I watched it with my cousin, and then it just became kind of like a tradition. When a new one comes out, we watch it together. The guy who made it, Martin Walls, he wants it to be different from Five Nights at Freddy's. He wants it to kind of be its own thing. The characters are more humanized because, you know, you're realizing these aren't just, you know, animatronics. These are people too. Bond, now he has a white shirt collar and a leopard print red bow tie.
I'm so glad we got to hear all of this, especially all those details about the Walten Files. This is great. We're gonna take all of that information and we're gonna go plan out how the heck we're gonna build this character. We will see you in a few weeks. Are you super excited for this or what?
I am, yeah.
Okay, Loren is really smart and obviously like super knowledgeable about this character.
This is gonna have to be really good.
Yeah,
We
pressure's
can't
on.
get any details wrong. Look at this.
What is that?
Hello, I am a talking skull. Do you want to hear a joke? What did one skeleton say to the other skeleton?
What?
You're dead to me.
This is a talking skull that Fright Props gave to us for this project. You can basically put stuff into it and it will say whatever you want.
Want to hear another joke?
Yes.
Why did the skeleton get in a fight? Because he had a bone to pick.
What I'm thinking we're gonna do with this, basically start with this for the head, but then build the Bond head all the way around it.
Like Bond's mouth and eyes are like really far apart though. Like can we alter this to make that work?
Okay, we are going to take you apart
Hey,
here.
what are you doing? Hey, stop that. Hey, put my hair back on. Wait,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
don't
unplug it.
stop. No!
So let's see what we got inside here. Ooh, boy, this is really heavy. You can see there's like the electronics and the servos that make him move. There's a big plate here. I wonder, you think we can take off the front too? Oh, look at that. That's freaky looking.
Yeah, not disturbing at all.
What have they done to me? Stop looking at me like that. Didn't anyone tell you it's not nice to stare?
Okay, we're going to the fabric store because we need like
Fabric. We need fabric.
Yes, we need his costume or outfit, and I hope I can find it. I just need like a stretch fleece.
They're gonna have it. It'll be okay.
I know.
They're gonna have fabric at the fabric store.
But will they have the right fabric?
All right, let's go.
After a mandatory walkthrough of the Halloween section, we started looking for the perfect blue fabric. We knew Loren would notice every detail, so the color had to be just right.
See, I told you they would have fabric.
You were right. It is blue and fuzzy and stretchy, and I just hope we have enough.
So arms are hard, right? Now elbows, they just go like this. But hands can move all over the place, and shoulders in particular, they can move everywhere. And you came up with what I think is one of the most clever things we've ever done on the channel.
So basically what we want is a ball joint, and instead of like trying to design our own ball joint, we're going to steal one from a camera tripod.
These things cost like $3, and they're perfectly working ball joints that already hold up a lot of weight because cameras are kind of heavy. We now have a shoulder joint.
I'm basically a genius.
So the rest of the arm itself is gonna be PVC instead of metal because we're trying to keep it nice and light. And let's see if we can put this together. You've got a shoulder and an elbow, And now we're gonna do the wrist, but Jaimie had an even better idea for this one.
For the hands, we're gonna use these mini tripods that have these bendable leggies, and these are going to be our bendable fingers.
Hey, look at that. Pose the shoulder, pose the elbow, pose the wrist, and pose the fingers.
So much posing.
I think this is amazing. Let's build the other one and turn them on and see how it looks. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. He's rocking there. What's happening?
Probably turn it off before I try to do this.
So I've got all of his arm and leg pieces done. Before I move on to the torso, I want to actually fit these onto his body. So that means I'm gonna slice him in half, carve out like a little channel so it actually fits on the skeleton here.
To create the shell of the head, we're gonna 3D print it. So our friend Beardless Props made a 3D model of Bond's head, which was tough because there's no existing 3D model to go off of. He worked his magic though and split the model up into a bunch of parts so we could print them. With time running out before Loren got here, we got a bunch of printers going all at once so we could get every piece made.
All the 3D printing's done, and I taped all these pieces together just to see it, and look at that. It kind of looks like a duck, a little bit.
It's kind of giving me like donkey vibes.
For now, I'm pretty happy with this. It's also a lot lighter than that big heavy skull was, which means these servos shouldn't have any problems moving this around. Another thing I did is I replaced this little part to like extend the eyes out to what I hope is the right distance. Let's test this here, that, and oh boy, that's a really good fit. So Springtrap has a diaper?
He does. It's space undies. I changed my mind again, and I decided since it's such a big space and it needs to be hollow for all the mechanicals that I am going to make a pattern off of Springtrap's torso only, so we can use that for Bond. I love this part. He finally is like starting to look like something. So now that we know where the arms are and the pelvis is and the shoulders, we can finally start to work on the torso and make sure everything like meshes well together.
Loren and his family get here in 3 days, and we have so much work left to do. Like we weren't trying to finish it because he wants to help us and kind of we want to do it together, but I thought we would be way further along than we are now. Like, even though we've built these from scratch, a lot of times you always forget just how much work it actually is. Hey, look at that, he's got a torso.
He does.
And
so
no arms.
we disarmed him. I made him this body with a bunch of scrap foam and bubble wrap, and then I didn't like it, so I added some more on here. And now what I'm gonna do is cut it apart where all of these lines are, and then transfer that to some EVA foam, and then recreate this whole body, but for real.
If you've already made it out of foam, why do you have to remake it out of other foam?
Because it's just like, it's too squishy. I need good foam.
Good foam,
Yeah.
got it.
I'm feeling really good about these patterns. So now I'm gonna trace them onto some EVA foam. This is 10mm stuff, so it should keep its shape really well. And then once I have all my pieces, we'll put them all together and it should look just like the body that we took apart. Everything's cut and it's barged, so I'm going to do as much assembly as I can here, and then we'll take it out there and put it all onto Bond. Ta-da!
Got the jaw working, I think. So on the old jaw, the pivot is right here, but you know, like you said, it's way up inside the head. So we had to figure out a way to drop the jaw way down. All this other stuff to hook up to the servo, I tried to just keep it exactly the same, but just like make it longer. So hopefully this is gonna work. Okay, here we go. Okay, yes, so that worked. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So we have to get this whole thing covered in fabric like today. And I don't know if we have enough time, so we called in some reinforcements. Ta-da! This is Meredith, and she is a pro at all of this stuff. So, you think we can do it?
I think we can pull this off.
All right, let's go.
Let's get going. Fuzzy side out. He moves, but the fabric needs to, hold on.
Something's going
Something's
ka-thunk
clicking.
in there.
Shave it down a little bit. Maybe on this side too, it's like catching. I feel like he's got enough space now, right?
Yeah.
To move around? Okay.
Boot on. They're here. They just pulled up. I really hope he likes it. Okay, let's do this.
Hey, come on in, you
Hey.
guys. Welcome to the new shop.
Wow, this is awesome.
You must be Loren.
I'm visiting Wicked Makers because I like the stuff they do and I like animatronics as a whole. They just kind of fascinate me, and yeah, I like the props and stuff that they do. I like his eyes. You did really good on the eyes.
You can get closer. He's not gonna hurt you.
I like the ones that have like a lot of movement, more expressive. And it's cool to just see all these things they've made in person and like just like be in the presence of all this that's happening. So did you guys get a 3D model online, or did you have somebody model it?
So this was all created from scratch just for this.
They got it pretty good.
We tried this new 3D printing technique to make Bond's ears. You print out of a flexible material, and then we put some armature wire inside.
It's like a mesh.
Yeah, put them however you want. You can kind of put one up, one down.
And when he's moving, it'll kind of have some secondary motion.
Yeah, exactly. What we've got to do is take all this stuff and, put it all together. Easy, right?
Right.
Got this?
Hopefully.
Okay.
I like being able to help build it. It's really great, just to be here and be able to experience this.
All right, let's go to the garage.
Do I carry this in the garage?
Yes.
Okay.
And don't drop it.
Hopefully not.
Or you got to rebuild a new one for us.
Our next step is to put fabric on the head, but before we do that, we want to show you the body so you know what it's going on to. Are you ready?
Kind of.
Kind of, okay.
Here it is.
That is crazy. Now I also like the proportions on this too.
Now you can actually like get into there and you can see all of like the mechanicals in case you ever need to fix it. So are you gonna keep it in your room, or is it gonna go somewhere else?
I don't know. Pretty scary to have in my room. I don't really know how to explain why I like animatronics. They are just, it's the idea of mimicking life is just so cool. I feel like in the future I could do stuff like this, maybe.
All right, so just like we did with Springtrap, we're gonna use some hot glue to attach our fabric to his face. So we're gonna start with the front part and then move our way back.
It's really good. It's really accurate, and the craftsmanship is impeccable. I'm writing a Yelp review right now as we speak. I thought it was spot on. I thought they really nailed it on the head on like what makes Bond.
We got some of the fabric on, but we really wanted to show you this because this is our favorite part. So you know how we said this is like a talking skull?
Yeah.
And you know how you said you're a huge fan of Martin and the team who makes the Walten Files?
Yeah.
We reached out to Martin.
I hope you're doing simply fantastic today.
He and the team were really excited to help, and they recorded some custom voice lines just for your animatronic.
I've never met someone quite as wonderful as my friend Loren. You know, he's the real star here. I don't know why I'm up here. He should be the one up here, not me.
The actual real animatronic Bond, he's got a very interesting voice. It's kind of soothing but unsettling at the same time.
Loren, you are by far the most strong, resilient, and brave little fellow I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Me and the gang hope you have a marvelous day.
Wow. It's been very fun. And, you know, when you watch these videos, you don't realize how much work and dedication goes into these. So that's really cool to see.
Man, what a day. So Loren didn't show like huge emotion when he saw it, but that's okay. I'm kind of like that too, a little more reserved, but I know he liked it.
He definitely liked it. Now it's time for all the finishing touches.
Huge thanks to all of our patrons who have helped support these projects. You can help out too at patreon.com/wickedmakers. We also got an incredible amount of artwork in the mail this month. Wicked shout outs to everybody who took the time to send us something. We absolutely love getting this stuff in the mail. Thank you guys so much.
This project was a lot, but it was super fun to be able to create this thing for Loren.
Before we see Vaughn in action, we wanted to give a huge thanks to all the people that helped make this happen.
Fright Props, who sent us the head, Purgatory Props for the controller and the electronics, Martin and the team for all the awesome help they gave us, and to Batango, who sent over their Maxwell kit for Loren to take home so that he could build it.
And thanks to House of Torment for giving Loren a behind-the-scenes tour of their haunted house while he was here in Austin.
It was really cool to meet Wicked Makers and to actually like meet them just beyond the videos.
So what do you think? Is Vaughn the scariest animatronic we've ever made?
I think it depends on what scares you. For some people it's jump scares, some people it's blood and gore and stuff like that, but for some people like me, it's more like psychological. But let us know what you think in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay wicked.
I've really outdone myself with this one, so come on down to Buns Burgers. Let's turn that frown upside down. Here at Buns Burgers, the most fun place in town. Are you there? Can you hear me? My name is Bun. Don't you worry. You're in safe hands. Welcome to Wonderland. Your new home. Dead? No. Your heart is still beating, but your body is now functionless. Take care of yourself.